a tough 2 years. We're just wondering how recovery has been at Embraer. Where are you seeing the most growth, especially within Asia?
Yeah, it has been a tough year. Of course, first focus was on the people, on recovery, and now we're really focusing on growth. 2020 was a tough year. 2021 was a much better in the background of COVID. We had a good number of orders last year, 92 orders that we communicated. And we're very positively looking forward. We see a new world post-COVID than pre-COVID, and especially the Asian market is extremely important for Embraer. We see good opportunities here, and we think we have a product lineup that's extremely well fitted for the local market.
Give us a sense of the kind of growth you're anticipating. I mean, especially for major markets like India, where it has been so hard to penetrate because there's been so many low-cost carriers, and it's tough competition.
Yeah, and exactly that I think is about to change. I think there has been a lot of focus on low-cost, cost per seat. We've always played the right-sizing argument in Asia. But the fact was the aircraft had lower trip cost but higher seat cost. And I think with our E2 family that we're bringing now, especially the larger 195 E2, that is an aircraft that offers 25 to 30% lower trip cost than an A320neo or a MAX 8. And we believe that is an aircraft that can really help aircraft getting out of the crisis. It offers an aircraft with lower capacity but very competitive seat cost. So you don't run the risk of putting that big aircraft in service. You can actually stay nimble but still get the reward at the lower unit cost. So that's the view we have for Asia, and we see several markets like Australia, we see Vietnam, we see Malaysia, where we see a huge potential for that aircraft, and it's being picked up already. We saw during the crisis many E-jets finding new homes in Asia. We had 45 E-jets moving into the Asian market during COVID alone.
Challenging environment, not just because of the pandemic, but supply chain disruptions, high oil prices. How is that playing out for you and your customers?
I think we're managing the supply chain. It's tough. When we look at oil prices, of course, higher oil prices airlines will look at more efficient aircraft. We took roughly 20% of fuel burn like for like out with our previous family. So we believe we have an aircraft that has a very sustainable footprint and will help airlines reduce their fuel bill. It's in fact a natural hedge going forward, and it will allow airlines to really push that fuel bill down.
There's a lot of talk as well that if Russia were to invade Ukraine, we could see supply chain disruptions get escalated. We heard the likes of Boeing saying that titanium, for instance, may be in short supply. Are you concerned about that? How closely are you watching that?
Yeah, I think titanium is one of the elements that everyone's talking about. We feel we're good on the current supply base internally, but that's definitely we're keeping a close watch on.
Sustainability, also a huge topic here, going carbon neutral, but it is a long way away from that. How are you factoring that into your own plans?
Yeah, we think there's a couple of changes post-crisis. Of course, it's all about people living further away from the city hubs. It's changing supply chains, bringing supply chains closer to home. And another big impact is for sure sustainability. We believe with our family, we have a very good proposition, especially to drive the sustainability. As I said, 20% fuel burn reduction on the E2. Also internally, from Embraer perspective, we have an ESG plan which includes very aggressive sustainability targets. We support, of course, Embraer with new technologies, the industry of a zero net future in 2050. And we've launched the Energia family at the end of last year, which is the sub-50 seat segment, because we believe that we are the third manufacturer of aircraft in the world, but we are in the sub-150 seat segment. So we believe the new technologies, if they emerge somewhere, it will be in our sphere. So we're looking at battery power, we're looking at hybrid power, we're looking at hydrogen, and we're looking at SAF. So the current products will be SAF compliant, but we're also looking at what we can do in the lower segments.
China's absence at this air show is pretty glaring, and what's even more glaring is China's, I guess, lack of participation in the recovery of international travel. What is the sense you're getting about when China will do away with zero COVID and when China will start contributing to travel?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. I don't have the answer to that. I think what we have seen is China is very resilient in terms of the internal market. But I think we'll have to see when that market's open for the international travel again.